Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our latest edition of Coffee with the Candidate. And as we're thinking about it, look at that. Isn't that fabulous?
It's fabulous, Ronetta. That mug, I'm very jealous. Ronetta, how do I get one of those mugs?
So I'm going to introduce you to this young lady in just a moment, but these mugs, amazing. We got so much traction on our t-shirts and whatnot, we just decided to take it up a notch. So you can find these mugs on our website, on our merchandise tab, as well as on our Facebook page for merchandise and products. So we've got the t-shirts and we've got mugs, fabu, and Gayatri, I'll make sure you get one.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah. So I've already started speaking to her, but everyone, thank you guys so much for coming. I just really appreciate your support and hanging with me these last few weeks as we march our way through this public health crisis and try and do the very best we can to stay connected to each other, to support each other, to learn more about what's going on in Northwest Arkansas, in the state of Arkansas, and across the country as it relates to COVID, as well as other things that are impacting our community. So, we've had a lot of different guests over the last couple of weeks. And so this week, I wanted to just kind of jump right into the conversation that we're having with my friend Gayatri Agnew. Gayatri is here in Northwest Arkansas. She's a corporate career mom, a proud mom of two little baby kiddos. And in addition to being just tremendously active and involved in the community, she is an outstanding advocate, a tremendous supporter, a strong ally, and just a fount of information, energy, and enthusiasm. Amazing person. So,
and go on. Yeah, I won't stop.
You learned about this. She created a national holiday. She created a national holiday called Mother's Monday. Single-handedly, thought of the idea, published it, publicized it, socialized it, got buy-in, executed it in record time. And it's really about recognizing the special needs that mothers who work outside of the workplace, who work outside of the home, what they experience, what they face, and raising issues to address some of those specific concerns. So Gayatri, welcome. And she's also one of the reasons that I'm even running in the first place. So if you all have any issues, call Gayatri. She's, I'm just getting her response.
Ronetta, thank you for having me on this morning. I feel like I'm on a talk show. This is very I am on a talk show. Sorry, this is Good Morning America with Ronetta.
Right.
I'm thrilled to see you with campaign sign and Ronetta coffee mug with you. I'm thrilled you're running too, and I know my husband and I can't wait to cast our votes for you. We live in the 1st District. Can't wait to help to send you to the Arkansas State Senate. That's a bit of a tongue twister. This fall, in less than 6 months. So we are really proud supporters of your campaign. And for those tuning in that I know, hello, it's lovely to see you. For those tuning in that I don't, it's really nice to meet you. As Ronetta said, I'm a mom. I live here in Bentonville, Arkansas. I love living in this community. I think we are all incredibly blessed to call Northwest Arkansas home. And it's a really special place. I think some of our political positions could be held by different folks than they're held by today. The state Senate and District 1 is a great example. So thrilled to be with you here today.
Thank you so much. Now tell everyone about Mother's Monday.
Oh, sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Mother's Monday was celebrated for the first time this year in 2020, just this past Monday, May 11th.
Monday after Mother's Day?
That's right.
So that wasn't by accident, was it?
No, that was on purpose. Mother's Monday is the Monday that follows Mother's Day. So here's the situation, and we all know this is how it goes. It's how it went in my house too. Breakfast in bed is fabulous. We love it. Kids are adorable. They draw you the pictures, and it's not, Mother's Monday isn't about anything against Mother's Day. Mother's Day is a beautiful holiday, and it should continue to exist. But for a lot of moms, then Monday rolls around, and you go into work, or you're getting kids ready, or you're doing whatever you're doing, and it's kind of wah, like all of that sort of support and joy and energy that was part of your Sunday family celebration is kind of gone as you enter your work week on Monday.
Hmm.
Monday is just about recognizing all of the other roles that mothers have in their community.
Hmm.
All of the other ways that we show up in that work week on Monday, whether that's formally working outside the home or candidly not. It's just recognizing all of those roles that moms have. And so we celebrated this holiday for the first time this year. We had hoped to get a couple hundred people. We had hoped to have I was like, we could do 2 events. I could do an online Zoom. Maybe a few people would tune in. And
Yes.
it just snowballed because I think that the idea just resonated with so many people. And so we put a national advisory committee together. We had Chelsea Clinton help to kick it off. We had Olympic gold medalist Allison Felix, who has an incredible story about challenging Nike's sponsored athlete contract when she was pregnant. We had Valerie Jarrett speak in the afternoon, who was phenomenal. And when I say we, I don't mean it was this whole network of organizations, of nonprofits, of companies, all of whom are thinking about and working on how to redefine motherhood and work, and how to just to that next level of thinking through how community and how society can show up to support families. So
Mm.
it was fun. It was really special.
Wow. So did you have what, 2 years, a year to plan this? How?
Oh, girl, I wish. I wish. So I had thought about the idea in December, January, and I didn't really do anything with it because it felt impossible to try to make it happen by Mother's Day, even being 4 or 5 months out. And then COVID happened, and it was sort of like, well, there's no way we're going to do this. And then some of the folks that I had talked about it with early on were like, Gayatri, we have to do this, right? If for no other reason than people need empathy and support now more than ever. And so we actually officially decided to plan for May 11th on April 1st. So it was about a month and a half. It was kind of a long month. But everyone stepped up. Month and a half. Yeah. Everyone stepped up, and I got to learn a lot about technology and how to facilitate a Zoom. So that's why I say you're a tech whiz here. This is it looks easy. It's not really. So anyway.
Yeah, it can be kind of challenging. So that is tremendous. That is
It
tremendous.
was fun. It was really fun. And we are already planning for next year. So May 10th, 2021, we will have our
Okay.
Mother's Monday. So we're
Wonderful.
about what that can look like.
And
Yep.
I'm sure the write-up in Forbes magazine didn't hurt either.
Yes, it definitely helped elevate our viewership that day. That
Yeah.
was not a bad thing.
So let's talk about, because that's really one of the main reasons that we're here, is to talk about some of the issues that impact mothers working in the home, working outside of the home, some of the challenges that women and families face here in Northwest Arkansas, and just quite frankly across the country, and what it is that we can be doing to better support the families that are within our communities. And so I know that for a while, and I'm sure it still is, early childhood education, universal pre-K, those kinds of issues are something that's been near and dear to your heart, just as they are to mine. And when we see the lack of universal pre-K, and we realize the impact that it has on so many areas of our families' lives, the community's lives, the nation's lives, we have to really think long and hard about what we can do to better support the kiddos that are coming up, and how we can best prepare them and help take care of the families in the meantime.
Yes, ma'am. What she said. See, this is why I want you to be my state senator, Ronetta. I can't, I tell you, it takes a village. It takes a village. And of course, at the end of the day, moms and dads are responsible for their kids, but no family can do it alone.
Right.
It takes a village. It doesn't matter your background. It doesn't matter how much money you make. Nobody does it alone.
Mhm.
I think so there's a couple reasons why I'm really passionate about early childhood education. I think that the biggest reason is simply that I'm passionate about babies, about these tiny little humans. I mean, it is astonishing how much development is happening in a little baby's brain, right?
Yeah.
We all know that, like you
Yeah.
hear that, but then when you have your own kids, when I had my son and like, you know, 24 hours would go by and he's able to do something he couldn't do yesterday. And
Right.
you watch that child grow in front of your eyes and you realize what a sacred time that is.
Mm-hmm.
Start kindergarten, but every minute before they start kindergarten. And yet, for some crazy reason, our public school system doesn't kick in until they're 5 years old. And
Mm-hmm.
what do we do with these tiny people in that intervening 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, for some families the right thing to do is to be at home with them, and that works for some. For others, for my family, we've chosen and been able, actually I should say, to send our kids to the Helen Walton Children's Enrichment Center.
Okay.
And it's an incredible facility, right, that helps their growth and development. And I think that every family should have access to high quality early learning education for their kids. I just think it's the right thing to do because these babies are precious beings that we want to make sure are taken care of. But the amazing thing, Ronetta, is it's also the right thing to do for the economy, right? It helps parents be at work, know their kids are safe while they're away from them. It also helps stimulate a child's brain development and the
Mm-hmm.
child's capacity to learn for the rest of their life. So
Yeah.
it's actually creating a stronger community all the way around. And I think you can say that about a lot of public goods, but with early childhood education, it's just right there in front of you. It's an incredible gift that society can give to families.
So this is an interesting thing. So there are, of course, where you and your family are fortunate enough to be able to send your kids. That's not free, especially if you have is that's not free. And so for those who may not have those means, there are opportunities, though, right?
There are, yeah. I mean, Arkansas has a great Head Start program. I mean, unfortunately, that program is closed right now because of COVID, because of the pandemic. And Arkansas has a lot of other early learning centers. But to your point about cost, they're expensive. We spend more on childcare than we do on our mortgage, and that's the case for the majority of families.
Yeah.
So
So I just saw the statistic that more than 70% of families who pay childcare, they more than 70% pay more than 10% of their income in childcare costs. I got it out. There it is.
oh,
And
at least,
yes,
yeah,
and
at
the
least
federal government says that 7% is what's considered affordable. So
affordable. Yeah.
70% are spending 10% more than their income, and then more than 40% of families are spending more than 15% of their income in childcare costs. So, and there's 28 states in where childcare costs exceed the cost of tuition in those states.
Yeah,
It,
no, it's too hard. It's too hard for family, and that's what I mean about like it's a little bit crazy. We have great education systems. Arkansas, in fact, Northwest Arkansas has incredible school system, but it doesn't start until a child is 5. So it's not like we don't know how to solve this problem. We know,
um,
but we don't happen to have universal pre-K here in Arkansas. And universal pre-K would just mean that the year prior to kindergarten, that every child, no matter their background, no matter their financial means, would be
that's
able to
the important piece. That's the
early
important.
learning. That's right. And you know, I have to share, my mom, who is an incredible woman, but my mom was actually an early learning educator.
Mhm.
Um, I was raised in a daycare because my mom was able to bring me and my sister with her to work, and she worked in an early learning center. And just watching that experience, she when I was in middle school, she was able to secure put herself through school, got her teaching degree, her teaching certificate, and secured a full-time job teaching kindergarten. And that transition for our family, from my mom going from hourly wage work as a early learning caregiver to being
Mhm.
a kindergarten teacher, I mean, her salary, I think her salary went 3 or 4 times over, became a teacher. I was
Mhm.
enough that I understood things were different, but I didn't understand the mechanics or the economics behind it. It changed my life. It changed my sister's life. And
Mhm.
so when I think about not just how much families need the child care, but I also think a lot about the incredible men and women who are working in early childhood education,
Mhm.
tell you what, I mean, all the mamas and dads right now home with your tiny babies,
Right.
now you know how hard that job is. It
Oh
is
my gosh,
so hard.
it's hard.
And all of these early childhood educators deserve to be paid more than they are.
You
And
get no question, you get no argument from
yeah,
me on that one.
yeah,
And that's one of the platforms I have, is we talking about what are some of those issues and investing in our educational system, supporting our teachers, supporting our
that's right.
students from early on all the way through higher education. I think
That's right.
making sure, particularly here in Northwest Arkansas, we not just Northwest Arkansas, but across the
The
states,
whole state. Yep.
that we invest more heavily in education, so that we can raise the bar of performance and readiness for competitive, to be competitive in the workplace, in the marketplace, when these kids, when they get older, and
That's right. Well, that's right.
you were saying
It's
something.
interesting, Ron. Like, well, it's so easy to make the argument I just made about investing in our kids, and it's absolutely true. But the interesting thing on the other side is, every day I wake up and I work for a major company here in Bentonville, and our company is concerned with talent, and talent comes from having a high quality educational experience. And so, not only does the investment in our children set those kids up for success, but
Mhm.
it also sets our state and our region up to compete in the global talent marketplace and make sure that we keep the jobs that we have, but also that we grow new jobs, so that we can support the population growth that this area, this state, but specifically Northwest Arkansas is experiencing.
And I think the need for us to really be thinking about what that plan looks like, not just for for pre-K, and how we can make that accessible for all kids across the board, but also, even those who can't go to pre-K, who are going to, say, daycare.
Yep.
After this pandemic, I just read that about 50% of these childcare centers are not expected to make it from an
Oh, it's
operational
horrible.
standpoint
It's
past the pandemic.
This is real. I actually so don't get me wrong, because absolutely I've had a lot of scary moments in this global pandemic of just fear for myself, fear for my family, anxiety. But I'll tell you, when I read that statistic, it stopped me cold, because if we think about what it means for families to work, which at least one parent in every family is working,
Mhm.
what it means for families to have access to care for their babies while they're working. And you think about upwards of 50% of the current care slots. And keep in mind, before this, there weren't enough slots. And
Right, right.
all of a sudden, up to half of them may disappear. I
Yeah.
mean, it's startling, actually. And so I think one, we've got to be empathetic with each other. We've got to be forgiving and giving of one another, because this is hard. But
Yeah.
more than that, I think this is a moment to really recognize the value that caregiving, all kinds of caregiving,
Mhm.
our economic structure,
Mhm.
right? So I think
It,
about,
it's
like, it's so critical.
right. It is. I mean,
It's
because
not,
if half of these childcare centers are no longer able to operate, that means that the kids that were going have really nowhere else to go, and the parents or the caregivers of those parents aren't then able to work or to go where they need to go to do what they need to do to take care of those kiddos. And the trickle down effect is like an avalanche. It's exponential. And really being
hard.
mindful of how we're looking at the different industries that need support through the pandemic, and which ones are critical, essential, as it were, to restarting the economy. I think looking at, and of course, that might not be the very first one that people think of, the childcare centers, but it is critical. It's pivotal. I mean, when you think about when the schools closed, how that had an impact on food supply for kids, where those
Yep.
kids,
That's right.
where the schools was an access point for them to be able to get food from time to time, because we've got a 40% food insecurity rate here, even in just in Northwest Arkansas, right? So
Yep.
the pandemic highlighted so many systemic challenges, inequities, disparities across the board, and shows just how broken a lot of our systems are. And but this is the blessing, right? So I believe there's a lesson and a blessing in every experience. We get an opportunity to evaluate what's what's worked well, what isn't working, and then have an opportunity, and we've had time to be thinking about how we can fix those things, because now we're almost at a blank slate. We can incorporate changes, we can effectuate modifications and implement efficiencies and enhancements to these programs to better take care of our people, our communities, so that if another global emergency could befall us, it won't cripple us.
That's right. Yeah, Renetta, I think what you just said is so real and so true, which is we globally, but let me bring that home, right? We in Northwest Arkansas have an opportunity to reimagine how some of our systems work.
Mhm.
And one of the reasons why our political process is that is where the reimagining of systems occurs. So we
Mhm.
can want, like I love the center where I bring my kids, but that is one of hundreds and thousands of centers that exist.
Mhm.
And the incredible thing about us getting to send you to the state Senate is you'll be able to affect change on the whole system, not on one daycare facility or early learning center or a
Mhm.
single school.
Mhm.
I think when we think about the scale of the challenge of how we as a community recover from this pandemic,
Mhm.
um, we're going to have job loss, we're going to have unemployment, we have it, we're not going to have it, we have it right now, we have food
Yeah.
insecurity, we have kids in need of care. And to have a state senator who's able, in the empathetic way that you just commented on, like what this means for an individual family, right? This isn't just numbers. When I hear that 30 million people in the United States have lost work,
Mhm.
that's million families, that's probably close to 30 million parents, right? And that the empathy that we need our elected leaders to have as they go to Little Rock to solve those problems,
Mhm.
is why I'm so excited to support you and to support your campaign. That's what I want for my kids. That's what I want for my family, to know that when my son transitions from his early learning center into kindergarten, which he will do this fall, it may not involve him physically going to school, but he will become a kindergartner this fall. Um, we're lucky in Bentonville. Bentonville public schools are some of the best in the state, but
Mhm.
um, need more support for all of our schools, and we need more of our schools to be able to do better, right?
Yes.
That's the right thing to do
Point
for the
blank.
next
Just point
generation.
blank. And I think we have to be able to address some hard facts if we're going to make change. If we're going to progress, we have to be able to evaluate exactly where we are, take the rose-colored glasses off, see where we are, see where we want to be, where we aspire to be, and set a plan. And I don't think that makes me Pollyanna. I think it makes me very realistic. And so there's a lot of commitment to the community, as well as, like you said, compassion. We're here, and we have an obligation. I feel we have an obligation to help take care of each other along the way. And it's not just a singular individualized pursuit. We're a community, and that means we are united around the common goal of everyone making sure that they're. I mean, that's really reflected in times such as these, when we have to call, when we have to pull together, when we have to recognize and support each other. You see it every day while we're in this pandemic. And if there's anything that we can take from this moving forward, that would have to be one of the things. We were talking
Oh,
about supporting the community before the program, and you mentioned a women's facility here.
oh, Havenwood.
Yeah.
Yes. So before we started recording, I was telling Renetta about Havenwood. You guys don't know Havenwood. It's right in downtown Bentonville. It's a shelter that supports single parent families. And I'm proud to support them, but I also check in with them from time to time and see what they need. And I was sharing with Ronetta that when I got their needs list this morning in my inbox, there's so much hurt right now and there's so much need, but I was reading their needs list and I was like, this is my shopping list. This is for my kids. And so for those that may be listening, if you're able, you can drop supplies off right just in front of the shelter, Havenwood. You can find their address online.
Yeah.
Diapers, They need diapers size 3, 4, and 5. They need baby wipes. And they need kids snacks like Cheez-Its and Goldfish. The stuff you're feeding your kids at home, the stuff I'm feeding my kids at home. They specifically need fruit snacks too. They need Clorox wipes if you've got them. I'm trying to think what else was on the list. Oh, and they need pasta sauce to make an Alfredo.
Wow. And
It just, it was something about that list. I'm like, that's what I buy for my family. And, you know, yeah, not everybody can afford to help right now. And I totally get that.
mm-hmm.
You're buying diapers for your kids, or you're buying pasta sauce for your family, and you can buy extra and drop some off.
Yeah.
I think now is the moment for us to just be aware that we're stronger when our whole community is stronger.
That's right. That's right.
One among us doesn't have what they need. We can't be the strongest community that we can be. So yeah, I think if others have organizations or causes that you're supporting, comment below and let Ronetta and I know what they are, so we know. But Havenwood is near and dear to my heart, having been raised by a single mom who on and off for certain periods depended on those kinds of donations to get by. So.
And it is a wonderful thing that you're able to, to come from having to rely on such services from time to time and now be able to give back. And I think giving back to the community is an obligation we all have. So even if you don't live in Northwest Arkansas and you're tuning in, find a facility, a service, an organization in your neighborhood, in your region, and see if you're able, of course, to do a little bit, to do whatever you can, because every little bit helps. It was overwhelming to me to see the lines at the food pantries just within like 2 weeks after the pandemic hit. Folks who had never relied on free food or donations of that sort were lined up, not just here, everywhere. I saw the news in Dallas, and the Fair Park, in the state park in Dallas, is enormous. The line of cars around the facility just to enter was humbling, and it just reinforced.
Ronetta, I have to tell you, because you brought up silver linings earlier. I was over in Rogers. I was doing a social distancing drop off of some stuff a friend had left at a house. My house at the Kroger parking lot in Rogers, and there's one of those mini pantries on the far side of the parking lot. And while I was there waiting for my friend, I saw 2 different folks come and fill the pantry. And I was only there in that parking lot for like 15 minutes. I saw 2 folks come and bring food, and then I saw them come and get food. And it was like this quick moment of seeing this community show up, right? And it's incredible. And I have a friend who volunteers at the food bank, and she was saying that, there is more need than ever, but there is also more generosity than ever. And
yes, absolutely true.
Yeah, coming to donate who've never donated before. She said, I only knew that because they didn't know where to drive their car to drop off the donation.
Right. That's right.
Like, there were more of those people than there were their regular donors. And that's the stuff that you hear, and you just kind of go like, okay, like things are real hard right now, but we get this together, and that's how this is going to be. So
yeah. I think it's important for us to hold on to that feeling, particularly when we have the ability to do something to help someone else. We see those who are in need. We see ourselves who are in need, and we've never been. We have the ability to help, or we've been a support to others. So I think, thank you.
You think that's what we got to do?
That's what we got to do. I'm sorry. I was trying to get the right charger to my computer, and my husband was doing, so I was trying to be slick and do it off camera, but you busted me, Gayatri.
No, you're fine. Like that's every meeting I have today. You're like, here's a dog. Here's
right.
Cat. Here's a child. We do that. That's what we do.
That's right.
But yeah, don't let your computer die though. It'll mess up our recording.
Okay. So I just want to make sure that we got the opportunity to talk about Havenwood and other areas of opportunity that people can volunteer. So, so Gayatri, it has just been a tremendous opportunity and tremendous conversation with you today. There's so many areas where people can get engaged and get involved and to help support the other communities, not other communities, just different aspects of the community here in which.
Just each other, right? How we can support each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ronetta, I want to thank you for running for office, because I think one of the most effective ways that we support each other in community is to engage in the political process, because that's where you can make the biggest difference. So thank you for running. I can't wait to vote for you in November.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank each and every, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. You were saying?
No, I didn't say anything.
Oh,
Thank you, guys.
so, and thank you to each and every one of you all who are tuning in, who have tuned in. Please leave us any comments that you have. We just love the opportunity to engage with the community. And of course, if you're so inclined, there's merch. There's merch.
Yes, I'm getting you those. Ronetta Francis for State Senate mug. That's what I'm going to have in this hand next time we talk.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you to each and every one of you all. Please make sure, reach out to organizations in your community if you're able to be of support. Please log on to the website, renettafrancis.org, for more information about what's going on with the campaign. If you wish to volunteer, you can do so there. And if you wish to make a donation, you can do so there as well. So many blessings to you, Gayatri. Big hugs and kisses to those babies of yours. And be
Thank
well.
you, dear. Nice to see you. Take care. Have a good day.
Be well. Stay safe. Bye-bye, everyone.